Brothers and sisters, good morning, everyone. Let us study the content of Revelation together. Yesterday, we learned about the seven-headed, ten-horned beast. So brothers and sisters understood that the satanic world, Satan, can attack God's people. It's the seven-headed, ten-horned beast. The seven heads refer to Satan utilizing seven kingdoms from seven different eras, from ancient times to the present. Seven kingdoms to attack God's people. By the time of the Apostle John, the previous six kingdoms had already collapsed and fallen. The previous five kingdoms had already collapsed and fallen. But in the time of Apostle Paul, in that time of Apostle John, Rome was the sixth kingdom and was still there. The seventh kingdom is today's Russia, which had not arrived yet. When Russia arrives, just linger for a moment. However, because Russia will split into 10 small nations in the future, so the seventh head Russia is also called the ten-horned beast. Originally, there was only a seven-headed beast. It should be called the seven-headed beast. It should be one beast with seven heads. But later on, a creature called the seven-headed, ten-horned beast appeared. It's because the seventh head split into 10 small nations. So the seventh head is called the ten-horned beast. This is how, from ancient times to the present, Satan has used seven kingdoms to attack God's people. It's just that the seventh kingdom splits into 10 small nations. What about after the split? They continue to frantically harm God's people. After the seventh head splits into 10 small nations, then attacking God's people. They can only attack for about 7 years. The 7 years consists of the first 3.5 years, and the latter 3.5 years. The latter 3.5 years are called the Great Tribulation. Then when the time for the decacorns attack is up. After that, Satan no longer had the authority to attack God's people. So next, let us continue to explain the wisdom God has given us. Which is, brothers and sisters, look at the people of God the Father on the seven-headed, ten-horned beast. In which period are there the most people? In which period are God's elect the most numerous? It is during the ten-horned beast period. That is the seventh head. The period when the seventh head splits into 10 small nations. That is when the ten-horned beast period arrives. Satan's final 7 years. The period of the ten-horned beast is precisely Satan's final 7 years. To be able to rule over the final 7 years of the world. God's people. Zhu Jiqi's father once said this to our sister Zhao Huan. Guo Yulan demolishes the hill altar. Actually, brothers and sisters might remember back in 2024. At that time, we prayed for Sister Guo Yulan that the altar mound in her home would be destroyed. So Sister Guo Yulan had the courage to destroy the idol her husband worshipped. Before destruction, the father said this to Huan and her sisters. We only then found out that Guo Yulan had demolished the mound altar. Actually meant, Sister Guo Yulan has torn down the high places. It was torn down from that day. So why use the word 70 then? When Sister Guo Yulan was 70 years old. Among all the nations and peoples on earth, in the homes of all saved people and those predestined to be saved, the hill altar has been completely demolished. That time will be when God's people rise up. That is when Sister Guo Yulan is 70 years old. God's kingdom will rise. As it is said in the book of the prophet Daniel in the Bible, on the seven-headed, ten-horned beast, which is the ten-horned beast period. That is when the kingdom of part iron and part clay rises. The period of the kingdom of part iron and part clay. God will set up a kingdom in heaven that will never be destroyed. That kingdom will not be left to any other people, belonging only to God's people. So that means in the period of part iron and part clay. What is the period of part iron and part clay? It's the era of decacorns. Now is the time of the seven-headed and ten-horned beast. The time of the seventh head, but the seventh head will soon split. The seventh head is Russia. It will split very soon. And after it splits, the period when, upon reaching 10 horns, it's split into 10 kingdoms. Then the time when the 10 kingdoms ally again is when the great God establishes an everlasting kingdom in heaven. When will the Father set up an everlasting kingdom? It is when our sister Guo Yulan turns 70 years old. Now Sister Guo Yulan is 61 years old. There are 9 years left until she turns 70. That is to say, another 9 years means the year 2038. 2038, let me see, the year 2035. In a year 2035, our sister Gui Yulan will be 70. That is, by the year 2035, God will set up a kingdom in heaven, an everlasting kingdom. By the time of 2035, this world of Satan will have only the last 7 years left. When it is those last 7 years, Father's kingdom will rise. It will rise when Satan has only the last 7 years left. This is what God has ordained. After the latter days, the spiritual nation of Israel will surely rise up. May glory be to the Heavenly Father and the Lord. Amen.